urgent manhunt is still underway in the South after several inmates escaped from a Louisiana jail. The Jailbreak shows the inmates running out of the jail and jumping down off a ledge. You see it right there. 7 of the 10 fugitives have been able to stay ahead of that manhunt for 4 days. Now, the Louisiana governor says there is no excuse for the failure at the jail that allowed violent criminals on the streets. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
So, Jailbreak. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about this, but what do you guys think about it? Let me know. If you were to get out of jail, broke out of jail, where would you go? What would you do? I don't even know where I would go. Let me know in the comments. We're going to see what you guys think. Again, so 10 inmates, they broke out of jail. And there have been more captured than what they says. There have been updates. I think the 5th person has been caught. We're going to run that clip. But again, let me know what you would do if you broke out of jail. I would think the first thing I would want to do, especially if you already been convicted and now you're going to get more time because you broke out. Man, I'd be heading towards Mexico or something, man. I got to get out of there. At this point, there's no going back, right? Yeah. Let me know what you would do, though. And now let me play the update for this jailbreak.
Do have to switch gears here to a bit of breaking news. This is a story that we've been following since it first broke last Friday. 10 inmates who escaped from a jail in New Orleans. Another one has been captured. I want to put this up on your screen. This is a tweet that we have there from the Louisiana State Police saying that the 5th fugitive arrested. It's an escaped inmate. Law enforcement agencies working collectively to locate the inmates who escaped from the New Orleans Parish Correctional Facility back on May 16th. They've now arrested 19-year-old Corey Boyd, and that's the picture that they had there of that arrest taking place. Also hearing from the Attorney General there in Louisiana saying captured inmate Corey Boyd is now back in custody. He was originally incarcerated on charges of second-degree murder, attempted second-degree murder, and aggravated battery. He will now face additional charges related to that escape. And so we wanted to bring you this update here on Live Now from Fox. If you've been following this story closely, we know that Louisiana State Police have been recapturing those inmates who did escape there from the jail. Again, Corey Boyd there on your screen. He is the 5th to be caught. He was briefly spotted last Friday, hours after the jailbreak happened in the French Quarter on surveillance camera video. Boyd, though, is accused of killing Brandon Fees during a car burglary back in 2024. Boyd, though, has since been taken into custody by a task force that surrounded an apartment building there in the city. His recapture leaves 5 fugitives still on the loose just 4 days after they escaped that New Orleans jail. I want to put this up on your screen. These are some of those other inmates who are still at large at this point. This is what those New Orleans police officers have put out, again, except for Corey Boyd, who's at the bottom there on the left-hand side of your screen. The rest of these 5 are still on the loose. That includes Jermaine Donald, as well as Leo Tate, Linton Van Buren, Antoine Massey, and Derek Groves. So several of those are facing serious charges as well, including for Linton Van Buren's second-degree murder and armed robbery. He is still awaiting trial at this point. Jermaine Donald also arrested on second-degree murder charges. And so we'll continue to keep you updated here on Live Now from Fox as we learn more information and more of these inmates are taken into custody. So we also know that a bit earlier today, we did hear from the Attorney General as well. That Attorney General talking about the man that they say was a New Orleans jail maintenance worker who was arrested, now being held on a $1.1 million bond after admitting that he turned off the water to a toilet that covered a hole in a cell wall. This allowed those 10 men to squeeze through the gap of one of the largest jailbreaks there in recent U.S. history. Putting this up on your screen, that's the face of the person that has now been arrested. We do want to continue on with this. Of course, we do know that those inmates there, during that escaped by yanking open a faulty cell door, moving the toilet, and then were able to exit through that hole. Graffiti on the wall included the message, "Too easy," with an arrow and an LOL pointing to that gap. Putting that up on your screen as well. We'll get back to that tweet there from the Attorney General. But that's the image that has been going viral ever since. That's the hole where those inmates were able to escape. Of course, we now know that fifth person has been arrested. 5 more still on the loose. And again, as it pertains to that other arrest of the maintenance worker, we do know that his name is Sterling Williams, and he's now being held on a bond amount at $1.1 million. Attorney General Murrow is saying that it's $100,000 for each charge that he is now facing. Saying at the bottom, if you are helping any of these escaped inmates in any way, you too will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
So clearly, the inmates don't know where to go either. They said, 5 people have been caught out of the 10. But it is also important to know that if you are aiding, one of these fugitives, these guys that have escaped jail, also, if you are in the area, make sure you stay safe, because these guys really don't have much to lose. So be safe out there. And like always, I see you in the next one. Peace.